Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Quotes 87. Today the quote is by Robert Lee. He's an evolutionist. But this is kind of connected to the last quotes we just did with Willard Libby. Remember? He was the guy that created carbon dating. And as I explained before, I remember when I used to come across these dates that were so long, like 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago. I even used to question myself, like, how accurate could they be? I was a bit skeptical until I came across from another video, another guy, I think his name is Trey Smith. I came across these quotes from these famous people, from Willard Libby, the guy that created carbon dating, and this guy, Robert Lee, an evolutionist, that really kind of opened my mind to realize how inaccurate most of those dates are. But let's take a look at this quote quickly, and then we'll review. Why do geologists and archaeologists still spend their scarce money? Because they have very limited amount of money, but yet it's expensive to do these carbon dating. On costly means expensive, radiocarbon determinations, coming up with these dates. They do so because occasional dates appear to be useful. It usually helps in their argument. When they're coming up with their theory, it helps a lot to back their case. While this method cannot be depended on, to give unequivocal results. All right, remember here, unequivocal means definite or without a doubt. So basically, he's saying the numbers are not reliable. Just like the guy who created the whole system, Willard Libby. Remember in the last video, he said that, you really can't trust any dates beyond the first Egyptian empire. So like 3,500 BC, let's round it up to that, is probably the ones that you could be really the most accurate about. And anything above that, the higher the number, probably the more inaccurate it gets. So let's continue here. So unequivocal results, so they're not definite. The numbers do impress people and save them the trouble of thinking excessively. Yeah, when people hear these big numbers, like, wow, really? Ooh, they test in a laboratory. Oh, it must be correct. Is science. They test in a laboratory. So a lot of people, it's very easy in convincing them. If they didn't use numbers like this, they'd have to do a lot more talking to try to convince people of their theories or their ideas. But when they throw these big numbers out there, it impresses people so much. They're like, wow, well, must be. I don't know. All right, so let's continue. Absolute dates determined by a laboratory carry a lot of weight. Okay, here absolute is probably mean like not really absolute. Uh, so here, and of course, if we say to carry weight means to be influential. Again, the numbers impress people, and they usually don't question. Well, they did a scientific test. What do I know? I'm not a scientist. It must be correct. They wouldn't just be lying to me, would they? So let's continue. Carry a lot of weight and are extremely helpful in bolstering. To bolster, of course, means to make stronger. In bolstering weak arguments. So a lot of times, a lot of these scientists, their arguments or their theories are, I don't know, maybe. It's kind of so-so. You could say maybe it's possible, but I don't know how likely it really is. But these numbers help to give it strength. So that's why they're willing to pay money to come up with numbers like this. They can say they did the test, and there's the numbers. All right, so let's continue. No matter how useful it is, though, the radiocarbon method is not capable of yielding, so it's not able to do this. Yielding means producing accurate and reliable. Reliable means dependable results. Good. There are gross discrepancies. So two sets of numbers or facts that really don't agree or don't make sense agreeing with each other. The chronology is uneven. Well, the chronology always, we have down here too, an order in which things happen. So, like if there was a book that was in chronological order, it starts at the earliest date and goes to the latest date. So it's the order in which things happen. The chronology is uneven, not really quite matching. And relative and accepted dates are actually selected dates. Yeah, so they went on to explain that a lot of these tests, I kind of covered this in the last video a little bit, is they get a lot of dates. They test a lot of things, and they get like 20, 30 dates. And they just choose the date that they like, the date that is strongest for their argument. Yeah, so, but the dates are all over the place. You could be testing the same thing. One one test could say it's 40,000 years old, another could say it's 20,000 years old, another could say that it's only 5,000 years old. So the numbers are all over the place. So it's not very accurate at all. So that's what he's saying here. So they are selected dates. They're chosen from a group of dates that they paid money for. And they don't let you know that they had this group of dates. They just tell you the number that they like. Okay? The whole blessed thing is nothing but 19th century alchemy. Remember alchemy? That was the original science where they were trying to turn, base metals into gold. But sometimes it's also used nowadays to refer to like a pseudoscience, like a fake science, or something that's like dishonest or illegal. So that's the way he means it here. It's like, it can't really be trusted. Alchemy. And it all depends on which funny paper, funny, strange, weird, who's ever writing the paper, how much are they exaggerating or lying or whatever. You read. Okay, so that's basically the whole quote here. So again, it goes back to a lot of times we learn things in school, we read these articles, we kind of blindly trust, whatever we're reading. We think, well, these scientists, they must have backed their work. But we find out that, especially when it comes to dates and how old things are, it may not be very accurate at all. I know they even tested stuff that's around now that should only be 20 years old or 30 years old, and sometimes they still come up with dates of thousands of years old. So, again, you can trust what you want, believe what you want, but realize that especially when it comes to numbers and predicting dates, they kind of say anything beyond the first Egyptian empire is probably not going to be accurate, and the older it is, the less accurate it's probably going to be. Okay, I hope you got it. I hope it was informative. Thank you.